One of the most hotly debated topics in gaming this year has been who ought to be added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Nintendo know full well what a sensitive issue it is, and even went as far as doing a cruel bait and switch in the Banjo announcement trailer that had almost half the world in floods of angry tears. But, as much as we love the new challenges of the past few months, we subversive chaps, or chapettes at TripleJump have been thinking about characters from outside the video game world that could hold their own on the fighting stage. Now, it would be tempting, of course, to sensibly nominate assorted battle-hardened characters for this list, like Goku, Batman, or any of the numerous other strong men or women or non-binary characters from TV and film, but what would be the fun in that? We like to break the mold here on this channel, so we've come up with some far better options, believe me. Of course, when we're done here, I want to hear all of your outlandish non-video game suggestions in the comments, and I'll quickly say now that some of the characters in this list have been in video games before, but as long as their origins lie outside of the video game world, we're allowing them, okay? Okay. Fine, okay, are we ready? I'm Peter from TripleJump, and here are 10 non-video game characters we want in Smash Bros. Number 10, Bob the Builder joins the battle. Can we fix it? More like, can we smash it? As a professional builder, Bob has had a lot of experience with demolishing buildings. But what of demolishing scrubs? He's definitely familiar enough with building sites and scaffolding to traverse the different stages, especially Wrecking Crew, Arena Ferox, and 75 meters, which is literally just a building site. Plus, he fills out risk assessment forms every day, so he knows exactly what can hurt you and how. His special moves would definitely utilize his fleet of building machinery / forcibly enslaved sentient vehicles that unquestionably obey his every command. I'm keeping my eye on you, Bob. What's going on here? And if Miley Cyrus can make millions of dollars by riding a wrecking ball, then a stop-motion man can definitely use it as his up smash attack to ground pound a plumber, the natural enemy of the builder. Lofty the Crane and Scoop the Digger would offer ways to launch Bob and his opponents upwards, while Rolly the Steamroller would make an excellent side special if Who Framed Roger Rabbit is anything to go by. Bob's ultimate smash move, though, would show off the most important lesson of the show: teamwork! The gang would all stack up to form a massive yet unstable tower of heavy machinery, and then collapse down onto the field, damaging everyone in the vicinity, with only Bob left unscathed. Because that, kids, is what happens when you don't wear a hard hat on a building site. Safety first, everyone. Number 9, Shaggy joins the battle. You asked for him, so you've got him. Dead meme or not, your actions have consequences. When will you learn? This lanky 17-year-old, wait, 17? God, where are your parents? This lanky 17-year-old is here and ready to do battle, despite that being totally out of his character. After all, his long arms and legs could be lethal weapons if put to good use, rather than making sandwiches. Speaking of sandwiches, though, his patent-pending giant sandwich towers don't just provide him with sustenance. The many years of devouring these monstrous things in one bite have left him with a horrific, unhingeable jaw that could deliver a devastating bite attack in the heat of battle. Like I say, this is very much out of character. Then you've got his and Scooby's pinwheel legs, which could do some serious damage as a side special, while his defensive down attack would surely be the classic hiding in a barrel move. But what about his final smash? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Along come the entire Mystery Inc. gang doing their classic running away from the monster Benny Hill routine, darting from one side of the screen to the other, causing a whole lot of damage a la Sonic. And you know the whole thing would wind up with Shaggy graphically pulling everyone's heads off to reveal the face of, I don't know, probably the creepy janitor who was hitting on Daphne at the start of the episode. It's always the janitor. Number 8, SpongeBob SquarePants joins the battle. Are you ready, kids? As fun as it would be to picture how SpongeBob would go about actually physically fighting anybody, him being a sponge means that his real power would be the ability to take some serious hits completely unscathed. As for his attacks, I guess they'd be better off coming from the assistance of his friends. For an up special, he could bounce off Patrick's stomach to then belly flop onto his opponents, while one of Sandy's fish bowls would be a useful temporary defensive shield for a down special. Man, this guy can block everything. Absorbent and yellow and porous though he is, blowing bubbles at force out of his holes towards the enemy could cause some serious damage, or at least knock them off the edge of the arena. And courtesy of strategically placed dollar bills, Mr. Krabs' weird scuttling legs can and will run over anyone standing between him and his money. As far as final smashes go, SpongeBob would deploy Squidward and his clarinet, with physical music notes similar to the Wii Fit Trainer's moves. That kind of thing can be utterly lethal in the wrong hands. Number 7. Neil Buchanan joins the battle. These are all just going to be kids show characters, aren't they? While Inklings may be waging their own wars against one another, Neil Art Attack Buchanan is their lord and savior. Coming out of retirement and donning his red jumper once again, because these kids should be making art, not fighting each other on games consoles, Neil's moveset would heavily feature the tools of an artist's trade. There's also the added bonus that his band could provide a new arena backing track. Maybe. Now, as we all know, glitter is best left unopened, if not destroyed on sight, but throwing it at your opponents could cover them in a pink sparkly skin that won't come off for the rest of the battle. Even if it doesn't cause any damage or negative effects, I just want to see Solid Snake in sparkling magenta. Now, like an Inkling, Neil looks like he could do a lot of damage with that giant paintbrush of his. For a protective down special, he could deploy his co-presenter, The Head, who would simply blather on in his difficult-to-place accent about whatever's on his mind, soaking up damage until he's destroyed. Then again, there's a good chance that even Neil will start beating the crap out of him just to shut him up. Shut up! When it comes to a final smash, though, the answer is obvious. Neil's speciality, one of his legendary big art attacks, would cover the entire screen in salt, gaffer tape, paint, and bits of clothing to assemble a giant picture, which would promptly come to life and stomp across the arena, because he can apparently make his creation sentient and will not be stopped on his quest to make everyone get off their switches and do art. Number 6. Harry Potter joins the battle. Now, it may seem unfair to pit people against a child who can do the death magic, but considering there are already fighters who can summon meteorites and giant animals that breathe fire, I'm going to say that Smash Bros. Has forfeited its right to be fair. Wingardium Leviosa, or Leviosa if you want to get serious about this, is a perfect up attack, while his trusty Nimbus 2000 could really sweep the opponent off their feet. When it comes to his standard special, don't fix what ain't broke. Harry managed to get through 2 tough years of PS1 antics by hitting everything that moved with his trusty Flipendo! So why would he ever consider using anything else? His down special would surely be Stupefy. It is a stunning spell, after all. When we get to Harry's final smash, though, things get tricky. Avada Kedavra would be the logical choice, but that's illegal, and people can't do illegal things. It would prove to be a very final smash as well, and might just spoil the fun for everyone you're playing against. So maybe another companion-based attack is in order here. I'd be tempted to suggest just the biggest, loudest, heaviest belly flop ever from your friend Hagrid. But I don't really want to see that horrible PS1 face on a daily basis, and I also can't ignore the more sensible option of Expecto Patronum, in which a beautiful silvery stag would blast the recipient off the side of the stage and deal some severe damage. That'll do for now, anyway, but I am loosely sketching something out in my head where the Hogwarts Express witch wheels onto the screen and says, "Anything off the trolley, dears?" And Harry just goes, "Well, take the lot," and starts chucking galleons at everyone. Number 5. Terry Crews joins the battle. After a lot of anger about why Overwatch's Doomfist wasn't voiced by the actor, ex-American football player, and known muscular man Terry Crews, we decided that if he wasn't going to voice a fighting character, then he should be one instead. I don't know if Terry Crews can actually do a pile driver, but I just assume that anyone that big is innately able to pile drive. So yeah, that's his up special. The Terry Crews signature pile driver. Also, being a defensive end or linebacker, I have no doubt that he could be pretty much unmovable if he wanted to be, as well as doing a decent job demolishing anyone foolish enough not to get out of his way. For his standard special, it's yogurt. Come on, Terry loves yogurt. Or yogurt, if you want to get American about this. And I'm sure he has enough to spare to launch a load of it into some poor opponent's eyes. And his final smash? I mean, just the sheer force of his personality alone. Terry Crews is great, guys, and that enough could just wipe an entire arena clean. Number 4, Ebenezer Scrooge joins the battle. Ebenezer Scrooge is probably the least likely Dickens character to get into a fight, next to Little Nell, but he has on his side what the others do not, the supernatural. If you have ghosts constantly complaining about you being, frankly, cost-effective, I would say you may as well employ those ghosts to beat some people up. For his standard move, I was gonna say Scrooge lobs chunks of coal at his opponents, but that costs a lot of halfpennies, and he would never do anything so frivolous, so he'd probably just launch poor people at you instead. His ghostly friends provide these special moves, with Jacob Marley's chains causing some nice long-range damage, the 1970 Ghost of Christmas Present as an up attack, and the Muppets Christmas Present as a huge defensive tank. You don't really get anything more solid than the concept of an entire day in human form, after all. We think. For Scrooge's ultimate move, of course, the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come arrives, drags the opponent into the future to see their own grave, and leaves them in a fit of despair, where they vow to keep the spirit of Christmas all the year, and so stop fighting entirely. You instantly win the match. OP maybe, but hey, it's Christmas. Number 3, Donald Duck joins the battle. No other duck matches Donald in terms of blind fury, except maybe Daffy, but that's a rivalry that will be eternally fought on the stage of Toon Review. Kingdom Hearts may have made Donald a magician, but he can definitely hold his own with punching and kicking either people or inanimate objects. Plus, as a duck that was in the Navy and has seen active service, he definitely knows his way around a cannon. Being a cartoon, a lot of his special moves could utilize hammer space to pull out weapons from seemingly nowhere, and he'd be able to withstand comically large explosions and attacks. It's part of his day job. Unfortunately though, he'd also be more likely to fall off the stage or cause himself an injury, simply because of the laws of cartoon comedy value. A staple of many violent cartoons, Donald's final smash would be what TV Tropes prefers to call a big ball of violence, where a number of characters end up in a fight, or brawl if you will, that results in a large, angry, shapeless cloud. With arms and legs being thrown out all over the place, it would probably cause some damage to Donald himself, but would definitely pay off with the devastating effects it had on anyone in range. Number 2, James Bond joins the battle. Years of training and experience in the line of duty on Her Majesty's Secret Service has made James 007 Bond a force to be reckoned with. Q Branch has been working hard over the past 5 decades or so to give 007 the best gadgets possible to fight the worst of the world's criminal masterminds and their lackeys. So while he may not physically match up to heavyweight foes like Ryu or Bowser, he could still pack a major punch thanks to the powers of technology. He could use his jetpack for an up attack, and while he has previously used women as shields, a concealed one inside his watch could probably do the trick. A shield, that is, not a woman. For a side special? Well, I'm sure he still has Oddjob's hat lying around somewhere. He wouldn't have left that behind, would you? And for a standard special, well, a Walter PPK. It's kind of basic, but if you've got it, use it. Final Smash-wise, Bond surely has to use one of the best gadgets in his arsenal by running over his opponent in an Aston Martin. He'd probably do this while drinking a vodka martini with one hand and winning a game of cards with the other, and also showing a close-up of his latest Rolex watch, because it's James Bond and he'd feel naked without some kind of product placement forced in there somewhere. And number 1, Tigger joins the battle. The wonderful thing about Tiggers, so they say, is Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber, and believe it or not, their bottoms are made out of springs. And that can be incredibly useful when handing someone's ass to them in a... sorry Tigger. When handing someone's bottom to them in a winner-takes-all brawl. The ball of unstoppable and very annoying energy that Tigger is, the beloved tiger from the 100-acre wood could definitely wipe out most enemies with his specialist tail bounce, which has been known to easily floor anyone who gets in his way. For a down special, he could convince his frenemy Rabbit to dig under the ground and, like Bugs Bunny, create a raised dirt trail that knocks enemies off their feet. The standard special would probably be throwing honey pots, just don't tell Pooh, and a side attack could be the classic rolling takedown. All that's left is Tigger's final smash, the legendary, the one and only, and those are the words of our writer, by the way, whoop-de-dooper loop-de-looper alley-ooper bounce, which results in Tigger ricocheting around the arena, destroying everything in his wake, and potentially pushing opponents off the edge of the stage, along with half of the scenery. Ugh, nerf Tigger, Nintendo. And that's our list, but there are lots of other characters outside of video games that we haven't covered. We've covered 10 of them, and there are almost infinity of them. So who else would you like to see in Smash Bros? Let us know in the comments below. You can follow myself and TripleJump on Twitter here, and if you want to support the things you enjoy, then check out the rewards on our Patreon. Finally, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I've been Peter from TripleJump, and thanks for watching.